Hi, welcome to One Word Today. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue our journey into the universe of this amazing language. Bleh. Okay, I just came back from a trip, so I literally took some time away from this program, from continuation of making this program, but I'm happy to make it back and try to make it as easy, digestible, as entertaining if possible for you. Okay, last time we talked about 两小无猜, two small persons, so two children, have no doubt. So this specifically talking about young relationships forming. So that's our 两小无猜. And we're going to continue with 小. 小 in the last phrase means small children. Here, 小心谨慎 also means small, but when it pairs with heart, 心, we met that word many times. When it pairs with that, it doesn't mean children anymore, apparently, right? So, but what does exactly small heart mean in Chinese? So in English expression, we have big-hearted, right? That means generous and kind, just almost like open-minded, right? Big-hearted are outward going. It's a appreciated quality. But here, 小心, that's Chinese, actually emphasizing the opposite of that, like close-minded, like pretty selfish, self-centered. Not exactly in this context. So 小心 here actually means, okay, we talked about 心 means, 心 in both languages and both cultures refer heart as your mental activity. A lot of times it's about emotional, right? Your heart broken typically. But here, 小心, 心 actually means your attention. So it's another type of mental activity. It doesn't really involve a lot of emotional processing. It's just taking care, like pay where you direct your attention. So 小心 in this context actually means narrow your attention to a small scope so that you have more intense focus on something. That's 小心. And I mean, weirdly, Chinese doesn't have a 大心, means you don't really pay attention to details. We have 粗心大意. It's another pairing. It does involve a 大. And I guess in that context, in that phrase, it does mean like you lose your focus. You're not paying attention to details, to what directly coming at you, that you really require your full attention. So that's 小心. Okay, briefly, 小, it's an imagery. Some scholars said it's like 3 little dots, specks of sand. So something in a small scale, small, just physically small existence in volume. 心, it looks, I interpret it, it looks like a lobster, right, with the arms like that. But it's another visual representation of human heart, of one chamber with 3 tubes coming out. That's heart. And 谨慎, okay, if you cut the 4 phrases, the first 2 is one pair, the third and fourth, 谨慎, you can use them together. You can say 谨慎小心 or 小心谨慎, but these 2 often go together. Okay, these 2 are much bigger, complicated words, and let's unpack. 谨, on the left side, it has, well, we met this structure a few times in previous episodes. This overall means speaking, and it's made up from the image of the tongue. So the tongue, by eliminating these 2 horizontal bars, the bottom portion means the tongue. And we know the box with up tilted corners is a kind of a smiley face looking, that's our mouth. And then we have this kind of arrow pointing downward to there. So it's something within your mouth because it's not usually visible, right? Your tongue. And then there's this shape that I interpret it as it looks like the tip of the tongue. So it's like, okay, pointing toward your mouth and in that shape. So that's the tongue. Again, it's a visual. representation of the physical world, right? And then the two bars, horizontal bars, I interpret it as sound bits. And so you have this going further away spatially or temporally away. So it's a smaller sound bits. So that's together from your tongue, from your mouth, tongue, and then have the sound making. So what does human do with that? It's speaking. So that's our speaking sign put on the left, and the right side, we have the bottom is soil. So we have this cross sign standing on top of this horizontal line. That cross, again, kind of like this cross, except sometimes in rendering the Chinese written form, sometimes they curve it, kind of like a style, but other times it goes straight, just like a cross sign. And for me, I read it as that's the attention, like trying to grab your attention to see here. So here is actually this cross. The target is right below the cross, which is the soil, the horizontal, the ground, because by just putting one line there, it's our number one. I mean, obviously it's abstract, number one, just one object. But if we have it on the bottom and we place this cross on top of it, that means you pay attention directed to here, to the ground level. So that's our soil. And on the top, it sort of look like leather, but not exactly. And some scholars said it's a sound maker, of course, but I always want to explain the sound maker as well. The meaning of it. It looks like a leather, so I'm going to start from there. Leathery soil. Together, this combination means a kind of sticky, yellow color looking soil. And I don't know much about the soils, but in China, if the soil color is yellowish, it tend to be more sticky, so kind of a clay making soil. So, okay, so you have a speaking function. So that's the meaning maker. The total right portion is the sound maker, but actually they are meaning maker too. They are part of the image, right? Part of the picture. And we have sticky soil and we have speaking. The outcome meaning is caution, right? So my interpretation of that is choosing your words wisely, almost like it's sticky. So in English, we often say, think fast, but speak slow, right? So that speak slow is a kind of a caution, like you need to be careful with the words you're using. So here, ancient language creators put that in this character to mean to caution you to the language users, like when you're speaking, make it slow, make it sticky, like a sticky soil. Okay, so that's jin and shen. We have the heart symbol, you see, it's kind of squished to the side, become one component of the character. And of course, it's always like the left side is a sound make, no, left side is the meaning maker. So it's something related to your mental function, which we use heart symbol. And on the right side is it sounds like a zhen means truthful. And we have heart, truthful. So, okay, on this truthful, it's also a meaning to it, even if it's a sound maker here. But the zhen here paired with heart makes sense to as a caution to you, because, okay, let's review this zhen character a little bit. Okay, in the middle, this oval shape with two horizontal lines, that's our visual representation of the eye. So we have this eyeball and with the iris in the middle, right? So that's a typical eye image. Just, kids drawing would look like that. So this abstracted into this shape. And then we have this, which is a knife symbol. And I interpret it as, even if knife is a tool for kill, I interpret it as this character, if you repeat it twice, like exactly same, just place them horizontally side by side, two of them together, that means comparing. So comparing, even if it's a knife in comparing, but we ran out of space, we didn't write the full comparison thing. comparing is a main mental activity, right? When you try to distinguish something, often try to compare A to B, right? We have A/B testing, things like that. So this is mental activity, comparing, and eyes observing, right? And then observing what? So this bottom left corner, this shape, it means something on the ground, on the corner. It's not so obvious. So it's like you need to observe something up and close and compare things. And the bottom is like two legs. So you need, after that, you're kind of having your observation, having your thinking, mentally comparing, have basically your initial judgment about things and situations, and then kind of like make a decision and act on that. So this two legs thing is our acting part. So together, it means truthful seeking. So you seek the truth by compare it, looking at it, something on the low ground closely, and you act accordingly. So that's sort of like an integrity, right? And then we put that truth seeking and the heart function together. It is a caution that one, I guess, in daily life too, like you can apply that when you look at something, be careful to jump to conclusion or something like that, right? Because truth is actually not that obvious a lot of times, and it takes caution to kind of a question or debate against yourself, against different evidence, to form your most truth proximate conclusion, right? So that's our caution. And I mean, in English, it's hard to translate those two. Like one is about using your words, the other one is about making your judgment. So they have different aspects about caution. And together, I'll just say it's cautious when we don't think too much about the original meanings of words. 小心谨慎 just means cautious. And I put on the right side, 如履薄冰 and 如临深渊 visually too. It's like walking as if walking on the thin ice. So like taking that level of caution. And the other one is as if you are right next to a cliff you're about to draw. I mean, this is pretty extreme, like almost like one finger hanging over there, right? That's another type of a scenario that Chinese often use to mean that you need to take extreme caution. So that's our way to express, to caution people that, or self-describing, like I'm actually carrying out my daily duties, 如履薄冰 and 如临深渊, to say I really take my work seriously. I process my work with extreme caution. So this is a pretty extreme, right, situation, exaggerating. So in daily language use, we just say 小心谨慎, means be careful with what you speak, be careful with what you see and think, decide, right? And pay attention, narrow your attention, focus. Okay, cash into the currency of thinking by One Word A with Sophie. See you another day.